What questions should I ask a benefit broker? Great question. And this is a bit of a different type of video, and I did this for you, the benefit broker. I did a little bit of research because I want to stay current on what's on the minds of a potential client if I was a broker. Now, I work with brokers, so our products are distributed solely through brokers. We don't go direct, but I love to help brokers get better, brokers like you. And so I thought I'd do a little bit of homework for you so you can be up to date and savvy on what to expect when you're in front of a sophisticated client that knows what they're talking about, which, by the way, if you're approaching a blue collar group and you maybe see someone that's not dressed like you, don't assume that they don't know anything. There is so much information that's readily available. People do take the time to do a lot of research, and a lot of these questions, you should really in your mind think of them that they're rhetorical. Think that they're just testing you. No different than when you're just trying to find out if your kid's being honest. You ask them a question that you already know the answer to. You just want to find out if either they have an answer or if they're being honest. Either way, there's a little psychology involved here. So if I were you, I kind of look at these types of questions and be ready to answer them at any time. And maybe the answer sounds a little bit different depending on what industry you're in front of. So there's a lot of things to consider here. First of all, I'd say right out of the gate, they're going to want to know what your experience and expertise are in employee benefits. So that's really not a time for you to toot your own horn. I'd say that's a time for you to display your acumen as far as how the industry goes. Maybe it's a time for you to just kind of give a very brief history on your journey through the industry from the time you started to right here while I'm in front of you, Mr. or Mrs. Client, talking to you, answering this question. You want to have that answer already ready to go, and make it a very short answer. You know, how do you stay up to date on the latest trends and the benefits landscape? Watch every single one of my videos, and I say it at least once. You have to stay current. They want to know. The reason why I keep saying that is because I'm always researching the industry. I'm always researching and asking Google, what do people want in this particular scenario? What do people want? I want to know what people want. You need to know what your clients want. And so they want to know how you stay current. And so in a few of my videos, I've already suggested that you should probably pick a couple industries that you have a solid acumen with and develop an executive summary once a quarter that shows your potential client or existing client the existing trends that are going on in their industry that could be affecting them. It's such a great thing to do, and it just keeps you relevant, makes you a better broker than every other broker knocking on the door trying to displace you. How do you help clients design and implement benefit programs? You know, they really want to know your method, your procedure. That's a great way for you to separate yourself from the status quo. You know, if you sound like this, you're going to lose. Well, you know, I just need your census data. I'll get back to the office, throw it in the hopper, and we'll have another conversation. That really sounded good in like 1994, 1995. That's not what they want to hear today. They're really kind of testing out your process because they want to know what your process is. How do you help clients manage costs and contain expenses? So they want to know that you're not just some status quo broker that threw their census into a quoting engine and you're coming back with the exact same proposal, stack ranked from lowest cost to highest cost that the other 10 brokers that knocked on their door came with. They really want to know if you have some up-to-date current strategies that can keep their costs down. It's actually, when they ask that question, that's a really good time for you to ask some counter questions and really start getting your head wrapped around what their budget is, what some of their business objectives are. Get interested in if they're growing and how they're recruiting and what they think attracts an employee. You know, a lot of these questions, not only answer them, but have some counter questions ready. They also appreciate that as well. Don't come across as defensive or arguing. Come across as interested. It's called having a conversation. What value-added services do you offer? A lot of us work with GAs, so we can kind of coattail on their value-added offers. But you know, you really need to have some value adds. If you don't, and if you do have some value adds, be ready to explain them briefly, but make them interesting. And hopefully they are interesting. What technology and tools do you have that supports benefits administration? This is a big one. Here's why I say that. There are so many technology firms out there creating HRIS platforms that solve for that. They do it so smooth, and they market to your contact at your group. They schedule a call without your permission, and if they don't tell you that the call is happening, they get this wonderful demonstration on how that technology works. And that one person you thought was loyal to you signed the BOR over to that HRIS technology platform because they did a better job than you did on solving for that. That is a big one. And so you really want to have your head wrapped around that and understand everything that's going on. You should get to know also who all these HRIS platforms are, what they do, what they don't do. Try to learn about stories of how they displaced brokers to make sure that doesn't happen to you. And also get to know some of these digital agencies to learn about what their value prop is. You could learn a lot by reading someone's value prop. How do you measure success of your benefit programs? That's a big deal. Measuring the success of a benefit program, that's a great opportunity to counter. And so, hey, what do you mean by that? Like in your experience, Mr. or Mrs. Contact, what did you mean by success of a benefit program? Do you mean at the employer level or at the employee level or on an all-encompassing? You want to try to get a little specific so you can truly answer their question. And, just to kind of summarize everything, it's really important to kind of have all of these things here just nailed. You always want to know your information cold. Always, no matter what. First and foremost, you got to know the products out there. You got to know the underwriting guidelines. You got to know what all the promotions are from the different carriers. You got to know the participation everything. You got to know everything. But in addition to that, you got to know these things too, because again, your clients and your potential clients are so savvy. It is so easy for them to grab research and borderline do your job for you. You don't want them to think based on your answers that they could just do this themselves because they won't invite you back for the second call. So anyway, I put this together for you. Hopefully you save this. I'm going to publish this out on a newsletter. So you don't have to write anything down. You can probably just copy and paste it off the newsletter. And again, please get familiar with these questions to be ready to answer them intelligently. So if you want to talk to me about it, I'm easy to find on LinkedIn, my website, evolvebenefits.com. Fill out my contact page. I'm all over the internet. I've got a Calendly link. You can schedule an appointment based on your convenience. I really would love to talk to you very soon.